So thanks for doing this class with me, which is a lot different than a lot of my other classes. So I do have 2 blocks. I put one on either long end of the mat, which might be helpful as we go. And we are starting with Chakra 1, the root chakra, Muladhara chakra. And so we're gonna start sitting. So, you know, that block could be there to help with a comfortable seat. If you sit easily on the ground, you know, go for it, but I just don't want this to be a struggle or a battle for you in any way. So if you need 2 blocks or to sit on a chair or just stand for this to be able to settle, let's go ahead and do that. And I'll just have you interlace your fingers in front of you and just kind of rest your hands, palms up in your lap. And let's just start in with the breath, of course, and it's really difficult to observe the breath without beginning to manipulate and control it. But can we just be as soft with that control as possible right now? And just get present with your breath. Just use your senses to feel the breath enter and exit the body. Using your senses to feel where in the body does the breath expand on the inhale. And just what do you feel on the exhale? And let's begin to move and begin to expand this breath. So let's now take one hand to the lower, excuse me, one hand to the lower belly and one hand to the heart space. You can see me, you know what I'm trying to spit out. So let's inhale, roll forward, kind of rolling the low belly and the pubic bone down toward the floor and lifting the heart. And on the exhale, let's roll back on your sitting bones and let the chest get heavy. So we're going to keep most of our attention in the pelvis here, but the movement of the hand can kind of facilitate the movement of the pelvis. And so just continuing with your breath, can you feel your sitting bones if you're sitting, or your feet if you're standing? Can you feel them against the contact of whatever it is you're sitting on? And then can we rest on the sitting bones somewhere like in the mid-range of what we were just rolling through, in a place where your spine, your bones, your skeleton, your structural body kind of stacks on top of itself, creating a sense of ease in sitting. And then I'd like to use our hands to mirror the pelvic floor and the diaphragm. So, you know, the thoracic diaphragm or the rib cage diaphragm, the respiratory diaphragm sits kind of right there. It's your lower ribs, mid-spine area, and it domes upward like that. So let's take one hand and just kind of take at the bottom of the breastbone there and take the cup down, right? So it's faced up like that. And then the other hand doing the same thing, close to your pubic bone. So, you know, the pelvic floor is like this, we often describe it as a hammock of muscles in your pelvis, right? A hammock would rest like that. But that's what happens when we study anatomy on cadavers lying down on tables. So we're going to flip it, that both respiratory and the pelvic diaphragm sit more like an umbrella. And as we inhale and the lungs fill, both of those little umbrellas kind of descend. And as we exhale, those umbrellas lift again. So let's just take a few kind of bigger, more intentional, more expansive breaths, expanding on the inhale. Now we're in a hammock shape, and on the exhale, we lift up into umbrella shape. It's a long, gentle, but complete exhale. Inhale, we lower toward hammock shape. Exhale, we lift toward umbrella shape. Inhaling, invoking downward energy, rooting, grounding, connecting to earth. And exhale from those roots, a little lift and coil. Inhale, lower, grounding. Exhale, lifting from the ground. And again, let's interlace the fingers, rest the palms in your lap with the palms just facing up. And just breathe. Our root chakra is very associated with our bodies, with our homes, and all the things that surround those things. So, if I could just start to sprinkle in some questions, in the sense of our bodies and in our homes, and in any other way imaginable. How do we come to feelings of safety and security? Is the feeling of safety something we are familiar with? Is it kind of a foreign feeling? And we always felt safe and wonder why other people worry so much. And how much of our lives do we operate under a sense of safety and security? And might we allow ourselves to operate in that capacity for the next hour or so while we move? And so then let's just crawl forward onto hands and knees. You can leave this block behind your mat there if you like. And coming to hands and knees, bringing your wrists under the shoulders and knees under the hips. Unless you'd like to slightly modify for your wrists, then please do so. And let's keep the toes curled under right now if that's not too uncomfortable. Please untuck them if it's a struggle there. And then let's just drop into we're going to move into cat and cow, but let's just pause for a moment in the back bend. So tail tipping up toward the sky, crown of the head up toward the sky. Put your feet on the ground. Feel that tail tip. Let's inhale in this shape. And on the exhale, it's forward bend. The tailbone kind of rolls under us, stretching toward the backs of the knees. Let's inhale to draw into the back bend, feeling the feet on the ground, the tail tipping up. And exhale, forward bend. Inhale, feel the contact of the feet and the tail floating. Now on the exhale, we just gently draw the pubic bone into the navel, just a touch more. Inhale, tail up, crown of the head up. On the exhale, the tail goes toward the backs of the knees. The pubic bone draws up into the navel. Remember our long and complete, but also very gentle exhale. Once more. Tail stretches toward the backs of the knees. The pubic bone draws in. Okay, let's lengthen the spine and just walk the hands forward, one hand print. And again, with those toes curled under behind you, if you can stand it. Let's inhale, lean into the hands just a little bit. And on the exhale, draw back. Feel the feet kind of stretch under. Inhale, let's shift forward into the hands. And exhale, draw back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Okay, let's shift all the way forward into a half plank, letting the fronts of the hips open a little bit and then finding a little floating of the bottom back ribs. And then elbows are just going to barely permit us to pass through here, coming all the way to the ground. And let's just lengthen the legs, tuck the chin to take the forehead to the ground. Let's roll the forehead side to side, attempting to keep the nose lifted off the ground. And again, just sensing through your body. What are we feeling? Can you feel the floor as it just kind of rolls across the forehead? Can you feel the tops of your feet on the ground? Can you feel all the places your body and the floor come in contact? Does any judgment come along with that? Do you immediately think, gosh, there's way too much of my body laying and connecting to the ground? Maybe you had no such thoughts. Let's consider lengthen through the toes, lengthen through the crown of the head. Keep those feet grounded as we lift the head and chest. So a long spine. Elbows are going to come into the body. Find the inner hands. Let's push through hands and knees. Tuck the toes under and come on up to downward facing dog. Okay, let's press into the finger pads a little bit, letting your heart move toward your legs. Can you lean a little more weight and trust into the lower body? Maybe your heels don't come anywhere close to connecting to the ground, but that's okay. Let's feel the toes. Let's feel the balls of the feet. And then let's lift the heels, keep them high, and bend the knees. Heart moving toward the legs. Straighten the legs, and just melt the heels. Wherever they go is just fine. We're keeping the big toe balls, little toe balls connected. That's more important than the heels. Let's lift, keep the heels high, bend the knees, the heart moving toward the knees. Again, lean into your legs, trust them to take on the weight, and press the legs towards straight and melt the heels. So keeping this strong contact, balls of the feet to the ground. Let's shift forward to plank. You're connected to the ground through the hands and the feet, and we are holding ourselves up in between. Let's draw the knees in under the hips. Okay, let's send your right leg straight back out, or straight back. And then we're going to sweep it out to the side, hopefully right out from that right hip joint. If it's okay, I'll have you flex your foot back. I have had a couple people tell me their knee feels better connecting the whole foot. So tinker with that and see what feels best. And then your left toes, let's tuck them under. Let's inhale, shift into the hands. And on the exhale, tip the tail up toward the sky. We're trying to prevent rounding in the low back as we draw back. Right toe ball is connected. So let's inhale, shift forward. Exhale, tail tips up, the big toe mound stays connected. And let's find that breath, moving those hammocks and umbrellas up and down. Okay, we're going to try to sweep this right foot in front of and on the outside of your right hand. So we're going to sweep. Sorry, this is where you could be on blocks also under your hands if that would help you. Let's untuck the back foot. Feel the top of the back foot connected. Feel the bottom of the front foot connected. Inhale, lift the heart up, shifting forward. On the exhale, let's draw back, flexing that right foot back, even pulling the toes back. The whole time the top of the back foot is rooted. Inhale forward, heart lifting, collarbones opening. Exhale, draw back. Coming forward, feeling the ground under the right foot. And coming back. Okay, let's shift forward into that right foot. Right hand plants on the inside of it, maybe on a block, maybe not, or maybe on your finger pads like that. Let's spin the left foot behind us as we take the left hand to the sky. Find your breath. Your chest might be moving forward and your bum back. We're just going to do our best to send the hips forward, roll the left ribs back, and then spin your top pinky toward the floor. Maybe you feel the armpit, just close a tiny bit with that. Maybe we take a little pulse of that right knee forward and back to open the hips and breathe. And let's spin to the ground. Straightening up along your mat, hands under the shoulders. We'll slip the right knee back to meet the left, taking a low, connecting vinyasa this round, shifting forward, elbows hugging close to lower. Lengthen from the toes to the crown. Inhale, head and chest lift, even as we stay long. Press into those inner hands, moving through hands and knees to downward facing dog. This time, just pedal the feet a couple of rounds, rolling over the balls of the feet and stretching the toes. Okay, let's roll out to plank. Feel the hands and feet connected to the ground. And in between, we are kind of hovering and supporting ourselves. Draw the knees under the hips. And let's begin with the left leg first, sending it straight back. And then trying to sweep it out to the side, straight up from your hip joint. Back toes curl under. Inhale forward. On the exhale, tipping the tail up to the sky, keeping the left toe ball on the floor as we draw back. Inhale. And exhaling on the way back. So I don't know about you, but for me, this is one of the movements where this connection between the sole of the foot and the pelvic floor becomes really obvious, right? So the arch of the foot, right here is our really kind of grounding and earthing piece, right? And from that kind of supporting our base and our roots in the pelvis as well. So we'll just see if we can sense that as we continue on here. So sweep that left foot forward so it's forward on the outside of the left hand. And you might walk those hands forward a little bit from there and you might be on blocks. Let's be aware of the contact of the top of the back foot. Inhale, lift the heart, open the chest. Exhale, draw back, staying connected through the top of this back foot, flexing the front one back. Inhaling forward, grounding into the left foot. The whole time staying grounded through the right. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. Okay, Come on forward, root the left foot. Spin the right foot behind as the right hand comes to the sky. And we'll just kind of breathe and pulse here. The tendency is the hips go back and chest forward. You can see I'm not super opened up this morning. I'm struggling with myself. So hips forward, top ribs back. The top hand, we're going to spin the pinky toward the floor. So maybe you can see right here, my armpit actually kind of closes a little bit. Find your breath. Perhaps this stretch makes you a little bit more of the base of your pelvis. Yeah? Okay, let's spin to the ground. Slip the left knee back to the right. And we're going to take a low connecting vinyasa. After this, I probably won't be doing them low to the ground. So always remember this is an option for you. When I say connecting vinyasa, you could shift forward, elbows hug close to lower. Inhale, head and chest lift. Exhale, we move through hands and knees all the way up to down dog. Okay, you can keep your feet parallel or turned out. Either way, we're going to inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, sit down into the bones and the muscles of your legs and feet. Inhale forward. Exhale back as fast or as slow as you like. And then we're going to step or jump the feet to the outsides of your hands. Now you might choose to stay high with your fingertips and your arches and elbows and the knees and pulse here. If it's accessible to you, let's lower all the way down. This is why I had you bring a block up here. You could take it under your butt. If you want to pause and rest here. Okay, so low malasana. Let's take a few breaths. Inhale, fingers lift, knees roll in. We're going to coil into a ball. Exhale, widen the knees, rolling the pubic bone toward the floor. Inhaling, fingers lift, knees roll in. Exhale, knees widen, pubic bone rolls toward the ground. Let's keep going here. So here we're in our little ball. The pubic bone, as if it's just really being pulled with gravity into the earth as the knees widen. Once more, fingers lift, knees roll in. The pubic bone, again, as if it's just being pulled to the earth. And let's pause. Okay, let's sense the legs. Let's trust the strength of the legs. Take the fingers to the ground and just press towards straight. And just pivot your feet so they're parallel. Maybe rock yourself forward and back a little bit. I'd like you to work on getting the weight dispersed evenly between the fronts of the feet and the backs of the feet, or the balls and the heels. Okay, let's send the butt down as if we're going to sit on an imaginary stool behind us. Reach the arms forward and up. Pause. Let's take the hands down. Take the legs towards straight and fold forward. Okay, we're rooting down, hips, knees, ankles, feet down into the earth as we lift through the arms. Hands come down, straighten the legs, fold forward. Once more, sit deep, inhale. And exhale, hands down, legs come towards straight. Let's try not to weight bear on the arms. Again, trust the structure, the bones, and the strength, the muscles of your legs to support you here. Or can you trust them? Let's heel toe those feet all the way together if that's okay, or a little space if you prefer. Let's sit it down as if we're going to sit on that chair. Tail kind of gravitating to the earth. Let's sweep the arms up and take them down. Legs go towards straight as we fold forward. As we sit into our seat here, can you feel ground, feet, legs, base of the pelvis? And from those physical places, could you take an energetic quality that they are rooting down here to create this growth or lift in the upper body? Hands come down, let's pour forward. Okay, step or walk. If you're gonna jump, make sure you land with bent elbows, chaturanga, right? I'll say more about that later probably. So step it back to plank. Drop your knees if you prefer. Elbows barely permit us to pass through, coming all the way down to the ground. Inhale, let's lift the head and chest. You choose, stay here. Press it out to upward facing dog, arms straight, thighs lifted. Now let's all drop the knees. Draw back and take a child's pose. If that's not the easiest position for you, you can maybe put a block between your feet and sit back on top of it. Take your arms wherever you might most easily relax. Now let's connect with the breath. Now let's connect with where we are right now. How many of your senses can you use to observe where you are right now? And how is it that you come to your right to exist here, where you are now? How comfortable are you taking up the space that you inhabit? How often do you feel comfortable in your skin, in your body, in your home? And however settling or unsettling some of those questions might be, could we continue on with this movement practice again and just allow ourselves to operate as if we are completely safe? And if we can't inhabit that space or sense today, could we maybe trust that a practice could eventually feel that way? And if maybe a yoga practice can, maybe so can other things. And as you're ready, let's crawl out of child's pose and discard your block if you are using it. And just find your way to hands and knees, and wiggle and shimmy. Find your body. And let's see. Actually, we're going to start from the knees again. So you could have those blocks under your hands if you wanted. Let's send your right leg back. And just like before, sweep it out to the side. And perhaps you want, that was stretchy enough and you want to stay where you were last round. Or perhaps you want to step that foot a little further forward, just moving through the different musculature of the inner leg there. Back toes tucked under. This right big toe ball is going to stay on the floor. Let's inhale into the hands. Exhale, gently tip the tail, just preventing the lower back from rounding as we draw back. Inhale, let's take it forward. And exhale back. And just a reminder that every breath we take, we're inspiring that lifting and lowering, the pulsation, the buoyant quality of the musculature of the pelvic floor. So let's come forward a little bit. Again, sweep that right foot forward and on the outside of the right hand. You could still be on blocks. You can take those hands forward a little bit so we're in this pretty big kneeling lunge. This round, let's tuck the back toe under, lift the knee off, and spin the back foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. If you were to opt to, you could keep the back knee down and spin the foot. Okay, left hand to the sky. So again, we're drawing the left hip back, the left ribs back. This top hand, we're spinning the pinky finger toward the floor so the armpit slightly closes. Reach for length from the outer left foot through the left fingertips. And then we're going to reach this left hand back, press or ground into that right leg to come up to warrior two. So let's find a little pulse here with your breath. And then we're just going to kind of transition this warrior two side to side. So let's stand all the way up. Pivot the feet, right foot parallel to the short end now, as the left toes point away. Can we just take that side to side, lifting, spinning, grounding, lifting, spinning, grounding. When you drop in and ground in your strong warrior two, can you really make contact with the entirety of both feet? Can you feel how what's happening in the feet is creating a connection where the feet connect in the base of the pelvis? Okay, let's take the right toes to point forward. 110, let's slide the left hand down, sweep the right. Let's stand all the way up, pointing both, or all 10 toes forward. And then just kind of sending the tops of the femurs back. Let's pour forward, hang the head. Arms can relax anywhere you like. You can hold your ankles, hold your big toes even. But here, let's inhale. This is a little funny, but you could inhale and just picture it or imagine it or feel it. Inhale, the sits bones relax open a tiny bit. Exhale, it kind of coils towards center. Inhale, the pelvic floor lowers, the sits bones relax slightly. Exhale, the sits bones connect. Inhale, expansion. And exhale, contraction. Let's take the hands to the ground. Press the arms straight and we'll walk back to frame the right foot. Now you choose left knee down, then the right one. Take a low connecting vinyasa. Or keep the left knee high. Step the right one back. You can lower all the way down or halfway. Split the feet. Upward facing dog or cobra. And to down dog. All right, let's shift forward to plank. Feel the hands and the feet on the ground and the connection in between. We'll draw the knees in. Okay, left leg stretching back. Maybe straight out to the side like last round, or maybe a little more forward from that to make it a little stretchier this time. Right toes tuck under. Let's inhale, rock forward into the hands. Exhale, tip the tailbone up. As we draw back, left toe ball stays connected. Inhale to rock forward. Exhale, we try not to round the back as we draw back. Inhale. And exhale. And can we pause here for a moment? Can you feel that stretch in the inner leg? And does this kind of, what does this inspire? Is it a little scary? Do we melt into it because it's awesome? How do we come to that stretch there in the inner leg? Okay, let's sweep that left foot forward on the outside of the left hand. Reposition your hands as you like. If you're going to stay on the knee, you're going to spin the back foot, right hand reaches. Or you're going to lift the knee off, spin the back foot so that you're parallel with the short edge of the mat, and then send that right arm overhead. So we're rolling the right hip back, the right ribs, the top hand, the pinky spinning down. You get that little closure in the armpit. Right hand reaches back. We ground to the strength of that left leg to rise to warrior two. Just gonna straighten myself up here a little bit. Okay, let's lift out of it. Spin both feet. Strong in your right leg in warrior two. Let's lift. Pivot those feet. And sink deep in the left leg. Okay. Can we maybe invoke, inspire, embody a sense of strength and stability in our moment of stillness, but also as we fluidly move and transition. So maybe we can disassociate stability with stillness and start to feel stability come with us through movement by being mindful, intentional, perhaps slow. Okay, let's bend that left leg into warrior two. Right hand slides down. We'll take one big side stretch. We'll stand tall. Pivot all 10 toes to point forward. Femurs, tops of the femurs move back. Sits bones gently splay maybe, and then pour forward. Again, you can hold your ankles, your big toes, or just dangle the arms. Inhale, imagine the sits bones relaxing away from each other. And exhale, maybe you feel just a slight connection. And you feel that triangular structure we're standing on right now. The feet connecting at the base of the pelvis. Okay, let's press the arms out and walk to the left foot, framing it. You choose right knee down and then the left, taking a low connecting vinyasa, or stepping back to plank, lowering halfway or all the way down to cobra. Lift to up dog, inhale. And exhale, we all meet up in down dog. Now you choose parallel feet or toes apart, heels together. Inhale, let's shift forward. Exhale, draw back. As slow or as fast as you like. Again, can you feel stability in movement and even dynamic movement? Okay, let's step or jump to the outside of the hands. Sit on a block if you like, or just lower down for low malasana. Let's take 3 breaths. Inhale, knees coil in, fingers lift. Exhale the pubic bone like it's being pulled into the earth. Can you feel yourself kind of roll in and out on your feet here? And forward and back in the pelvis. Again, how do we come to this kind of movement? Is there a little bit of hesitation and widening the knees? Do we welcome it? Or maybe we're indifferent. All right, let's take the hands down. Just find the strength in the legs. Press, oh, sorry. Yeah, we're gonna press out and just point the toes to point forward, all 10 toes forward. Okay, sitting down. And I feel again that gravitational pull from the base of the pelvis, like into the earth, kind of between the heels. And then sending the arms up. And let's take the hands down, the legs towards straight, trusting the legs to relax the rest. Let's lower the bum. Root down through those feet, knees, and hips in order to fly the upper body. Once more, sitting, rooting down to lift the heart, lift the hands. And we'll take the hands down and pour forward. Let's heel toe those feet as close together as you're comfortable going. Again, like this pull toward the earth, the base of the pelvis pulling down. And we find those roots there, strength from those roots to grow tall. And hands down, we'll straighten and pour forward. Twice more with breath. Bend deep, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, gentle options, step back to plank and then drop your knees and take a low connecting vinyasa. Option 2, step back to plank, take eye connecting vinyasa. Advanced version, jump back. You've got to land with bend elbows though. Inhale, up dog. And exhale. Let's pause right there. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna roll out to plank. Drop your knees first or not, and then we're gonna slowly lower to the ground. So you're just gonna feel, sense, envision, imagine the earth kind of receiving the weight of us, taking some of the load off. And let's lower. Okay, let's lift. Sorry, I think I must have flown a little bit there, but it's fine. Let's lift the head and chest and press back, finding yourself in child's pose. Use a block if you prefer. And definitely place your hands wherever it helps you to actually rest in child's pose. And let's use the breath to sense the body. The expansion kind of makes us a little more aware. Where are the boundaries of our physical body? Where are other boundaries or emotional boundaries? And might I ask, what is your measure of self-worth? Maybe we can treat this practice as a way to cultivate self-worth if need be, to humble it. Sometimes it runs wild. And maybe we can use this practice to just begin to observe and pay attention. Once again, begin to just sense the physical body, the movement of the breath. And let's make our way to hands and knees, taking a little wiggle and a little shimmy. Waking ourselves up. Okay, let's tuck those toes under. Come on up to down dog. So this round, let's start with the right leg. We're going to inhale, sweep that right leg up to the sky behind us. And on the exhale, let's draw the knee up and into the tummy, sort of lifting off the hands and feet a little. Inhale to fly that right leg. Exhale, we round, draw the knee in, almost lifting away from the earth a tiny bit. Inhale, let's sweep it up. Exhale, lift. And with this one, we're going to try to pull through. Inhale, fly the leg. Exhale, well, not through. We're going to pull to the outside of that right hand, just as before. Drop the knee, spin the foot, or spin the back heel down so the back foot is parallel to the short end of the mat. Left arm reaches overhead, so we're rolling the left hips back, the left ribs back. Spinning this arm to maybe close the armpit. Let's reach that left hand back, coming up strong, warrior two. Let's inhale, slide down the back leg. Right arm reaches up and over. And then we're going to stand up out of our warrior two, pivoting those feet, right? Left foot points to the back of the mat. Right foot's now parallel. Inhale, slide down the right leg. And exhale, spinning those feet. Inhale. Inhale. Okay, let's spin all 10 toes to point forward. Sorry, turn them out actually. Let's take the hands to the knees. The fingers are pointing out. So the heels of the hands are sort of in the inner knee or vastus medialis. They're kind of pressing out. I'll just say it this way. Okay, so staying as low as you're happy, but keeping a little bit of a pulse and coming way high if you prefer. Let's inhale, stretch one arm overhead. Notice I'm keeping this one straight. And exhale, connect the hands. Inhale. Feel your feet on the ground. Can you feel secure here? Can you find some sense of safety in this movement, even if you feel muscle fatigue? Could you just decide to trust that even fatiguing muscles will hold you up if need be? And I was facing this way. So let's press it to straight. Now all 10 toes pointing forward. Only if you want, you could interlace the hands behind the back this time. Draw the hips back a little and pour forward. Now you could hang here, hands interlaced or not. You could take this as a restful position. Or you could take the hands down or not. And start to shift your weight onto one leg at a time. Just going as low as you're comfortable going. So again, all kinds of options, hands down or not. Dipping the butt down or not. And wherever you are, if we start from the forward fold there, let's walk back to the right foot to frame it. Okay, drop the left knee, then the right. Take a low connecting vinyasa. Or sweep that right foot back. Lower halfway or all the way if you like. Inhale to back bend. And exhale to down dog. Left leg, inhale, let's sweep it to the sky. Exhale, round, lifting the knee up into the tummy. Inhale, fly the left leg. So as we kind of root or press into the earth with the ball of the right foot, that helps us lift the left knee up. Right, inhale to sweep. So we're rooting to the right to lift the left. Okay, this time we're going to step the foot. Inhale, sweep it up. We bring it to the outside of the left hand. You choose, drop the back knee and spin. Spin the back foot parallel to the short edge. And right arm overhead. Rolling the right hip, ribs back. Spinning his pinky toward the floor. And let's reach back to stand. Okay, so this round, we're going to take either the left elbow to the knee or the left hand to the floor where we just came from. So we're going to inhale, sweep this top arm up and overhead. Exhale to warrior two, spinning the feet. Elbow or hand down. Inhale, left arm overhead. Exhale to warrior two, spinning those feet. Inhale. Okay, let's stand. Toes out, heels in. You choose hands to the inner knees or elbows. Again, inhale, right arm up and over. And exhale, either hand or elbow comes down. Inhale. And exhale. On your own rhythm, maybe a little pulse in the hips to keep it sustainable. Maybe you're much higher and on your hands, right? Okay, let's stand it all the way up. Point all 10 toes forward. Interlace if you want. Straighten if you want. We can pour forward. So you can rest here and breathe, just staying here with the hands clasped or not. Or you can get into what I like to think of as some primal yoga. You just use those paws that are your feet, hands too maybe, but shifting side to side. You can use your arms for support or be holding them up. If you have a practice of trying to get off and on and off the ground without using your hands, this is a great way to incorporate that. And wherever you are, if we just pour forward here for a moment, then we can walk the hands back to the left foot, framing it. Okay, so you choose. Drop the knees for low vinyasa, or step the left one back and take a high connecting vinyasa. Okay, parallel or turned out feet, you choose. Inhale forward, exhale back. Okay, we're going to step or jump the feet to the outside of the hands. Sit your bum down for a low malasana, a low squat. Please place a block under your bum if you prefer. Let's take a few breaths. Inhale, fingers lift, knees roll in. Exhale, the pubic bone gravitates to the earth. Inhale. And exhale. Let's take the hands to the ground, press the legs towards straight. Spin all 10 toes to point forward. Okay, let's heel toe those feet so they're actually right underneath the hip joints. Rest your arms and head. With an inhale, let's sit deep over those heels. And on the exhale, just root down to roll the spine up. Okay, so if it's comfortable enough for you, let's close the eyes. And let's just take a rock forward and back, feeling the feet kind of, light up in the toes and then soften in the toes. And the heels kind of weight and unweight. And just as a little movement through the mind here, let's first just really feel like, what is it that you feel under your mat or under your feet? I'm on a mat, so it's like a tiny bit sticky. It's pretty lukewarm. It definitely has some squish, but I can also sense even more squishiness of the shag carpet underneath my mat. So what do you got going on at home? Maybe in your mind, you could just go to a place of what it feels like to stand in fresh grass or wet grass. What would this rocking forward and back feel like in sand? What would it feel like if we were standing in gravel? Let's try to find a place of stillness where we are hovering in the structural body, our bones, the skeleton. And let's soften the knees, feel the weight of the body move down and into the feet. And just nod the head forward and take a roll down, trusting that your legs have you. And the rest of you can just roll and eventually completely soften. Then can we plant the hands, step the feet back to plank. You could take a connecting vinyasa if you like, or you could just drop the knees and come back to child's pose. So your knees can be wide or close together. You choose. You can have a block or any kind of propping under you. Arms anywhere it helps you relax. How is your breath? Can you sense your body with the movement of your breath? How do you feel in your physical body and in the physical world? Can you relate to, or do you sometimes have a feeling of almost being disassociated or detached from the physical world? Have you ever found yourself grasping for it? Let's shimmy our way onto the hands and knees. And we're just going to make our way to sitting. So crawling forward and sweeping your legs, however it works. Please take a block under your bum again if that is more comfortable. And let's take a hand to the low belly and a hand to the heart. Sense the breath. Maybe connect with your own sense of health and well-being. Can we assess our current state of health without judgment? I'm going to take maybe just a couple more breaths to this envision and feel this pulsing of the physical aspect here, the pelvic floor and diaphragm. Right? If they start as little umbrellas, we inhale, the umbrellas lower toward hammocks. And we exhale, they lift back to umbrella shape. Inhale, lowering down to the base of the pelvis, into the ground. Exhaling from those roots, kind of coiling or lifting. Inhale, the breath travels in down to the base of the pelvic floor, but we could just feel it move all the way into the earth. And exhale. Inhale in and down. And exhale up and down. And then have you find your way into a comfortable Shavasana position. Maybe that's bundled up. Maybe that's the opposite. Maybe you want to be on your back and keep your knees bent with them flowing in or out. Maybe you like to go propless with long arms and legs. And again, take a few breaths just to sense your body, your home, your boundaries, where you are here and now. And as we breathe, just feel the earth supporting us from below. And slowly return to the sensations of the breath in the body. And just move your hands and feet a little bit. Maybe roll the arms and legs in and out against the ground. Maybe roll the skull heavy side to side. If it sounds nice, just stretch the arms overhead, taking a big yawning open stretch. Maybe you prefer to hug your knees into your chest and roll your low back. You can certainly find your own way here. And let's all roll onto the side for a moment. Just still a little bit collapse into the ground for comfort and support. And let's slowly make our way to seated. And as you arrive, of course, you can prop your bum if that is better. Okay. Let's connect the hands with the heart for a moment. Let's take a few rolls back and forth, feeling the bones of your pelvis, your sitting bones against the ground. And again, just placing yourself on those bones where your skeleton is as tall as it gets. Let's send the arms to the side, flipping the palms to face up. We're going to breathe with the upward and downward energy. Inhale into reach. So sits bones rooting, those fingers fly. Exhale, we'll palm down, lower the forehead and lower the heart. Twice more with your own breath. And with your own place in mind. And the humanity in me acknowledges, honors, and respects the humanity in me.